Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General Clark, as we've discussed, the $13.2 million budget makes essentially flat for 3 years, which in light of inflation does represent a cut. As we had talked about for the first time in the organization's history, you're going to be looking at personnel cuts. What would you not be able to accomplish with this budget that is high on your unfunded requirements list?
Congressman, the aspect with this budget is that just we won't be able to go as fast as we would like to in some of our modernization and some of our future capability development. And so as you hit it on what we did was submit an unfunded requirements list. And that list points to some of those specific things that we would like to accelerate if that additional funding was given. We submitted 28 different requirements for about $650 million for SOCOM, which is about 6% of our budget.
Very good. I am supportive of increasing our force posture in Eastern Europe, specifically Baltics, Poland, and Romania, and especially with our SOF personnel. Do you see value in increasing SOF's presence along NATO's eastern flank?
I think it's not as much as the increase in people as it is the capability to make sure that we have the right capabilities in the right places. As you well know, we have been in the Baltics, and we've remained a partner of choice, I believe, with our SOF partners in Eastern Europe for a while. I'd have to reevaluate with General Walters our Special Operations Command Europe for specific additional, but for the current Ukraine crisis, we put additional people and capabilities forward to assist with that crisis.
And that's an investment that's been going on for some time. As we've talked about and has been noted in the press, the Ukrainians have put up much stronger fight than a lot of people are going to give them credit for. And I think a lot of that credit goes back to the partnerships that have been formed over these years. I don't know if this is the forum we want to talk about that, or if there's anything in the unclass setting. Could you elaborate a little bit on the benefit that we've seen from those partnerships?
Congressman, in this setting, those enduring partnerships that we've had with the Ukrainian forces in the Ukraine since they were invaded by Russia in 2014 have been critical. They've been enduring. And it's not just the U.S. and the Ukrainian, but we've also brought in many of our NATO allies have also been shoulder to shoulder with us in the Ukraine, training side by side with the Ukrainian partners. So it's the relationships that we have built with many of our NATO allies that have really helped tie this together.
Well, and I'm reminded of the old train like you fight, fight like you train. The time to figure it out is not when the war's hot.
That's exactly right.
The fiscal year 23 budget requests cuts funding for maritime support vessels, namely the Carolyn Shust for you all. Does this requirement does the requirement still exist? And if so, what is SOCOM unable to do without this capability?
Congressman, we're working very closely with INDOPACOM, specifically for the maritime support vessel that you were talking about. That vessel, just like any afloat staging base, and as a former Navy officer, you understand how important proximity is in locations. But the maritime support vessel in and of itself is not a SOF-specific requirement or SOF-specific funding issue. We're really looking to the services, in this case the Navy and INDOPACOM, to provide that capability that will allow us better proximity to some of the issues in the Indo-Pacific, so that we can be placed in the right positions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.